Yeah, make your own videos. This is the third part in the series. Previously, we've discussed lots of different options and ways for you to create your own videos. Today, we'll be talking about the editing portion. My name is Nicole Carter. I'm a part of the digital curriculum crew, and I used to be a flipped classroom teacher for 4 years. So in terms of diving into the deep end and making my own video content, I just learned the hard way by trial and error over several different years. And since I've been out of the classroom, I still make videos. I make videos all the time. They just tend to be tutorial videos for teachers instead of content videos for students. So I happen to think that all of the video making pieces have been incredibly valuable to my professional career as a teacher, just in different capacities, but I still make videos constantly. So let's go ahead and just say, I think that this kind of fits into the category of the PD buckets into the respond and how we might differentiate. Creating instructional videos allows you to clone yourself, basically. So it's another way for you to provide an activity to get direct instruction to the students, while you potentially during synchronous or asynchronous time can meet with students and get prep and plan work done as well. So keep in mind too, in terms of providing different aspects, oh, I guess it also does teach and engage too, because this is teaching your content. But I was going to talk a little bit about those equity pieces, because you can provide pieces with closed captioning. You can teach the students the ability to pause the video, rewind, rewatch. It's a reteaching tool. So there's a lot actually going on when you're creating your own instructional videos, especially when it is specific to you and the content and the priority standards that we're moving forward with for the fall school year. Okay, so if you can, try and do a dual screen for me so you can kind of see this diagram, but then I also want you to just go ahead and open up iMovie so that you can kind of zoom in on some of these buttons. So when you are looking at iMovie, you've got off to the left-hand side, and this is the version iMovie 10 and iMovie 11 should look like this. So your most recent updates on iMovie on your laptop. And if you do not have iMovie installed on your laptop, you can go to self-service and install from self-service, or if you have access to the App Store on your laptop, you can install it from there. Free of charge, it's a part of your teacher laptop. So off to the left-hand side, you have what's called your library list. So this is where you can create a new event and store all of your kind of import and media. And then that becomes helpful if you're making something that you like to reuse the same background music, for example, over and over again. Or if you're using an image that you can reuse, you can jump in between the different libraries of all of your content and events. And I'll show you how you can make those so they're specific to your different videos you might be making. Up at the top, I'm going to say right here, this is where all of the media that you will be manipulating for your video lives. So you have to import that into iMovie. It could be anything from these green ones are just audio. So that could be sound effects. It could be background music. It could be a voiceover. You can do whole video sets, and you can also do still images. So you can take a screenshot of something and put it in here as well. So this is all of the stuff that you might manipulate and use within your video. On top of that, you have a way to navigate into different screens for this particular plane, which also could be audio. It can be your transitions. So if you are cutting through audio or cutting through your video and you want to add in a cross-cut transition, all of this will make sense as we kind of dive in, but it's important to know where all of your buttons are. You can also add in backgrounds like white backgrounds, black backgrounds, turning world background. There's a lot of different options. And then transitions was what I was kind of talking about before, but titles also can be, you know, text across the screen, and that you have lots of different options within there too. Your video that you're watching and creating is here in this screen. So you can play back, rewind, and watch at any time here. You've also got ability to crop the video and the pictures as well with the tools up here. And you can speed up a video and slow down a video too. When you're ready to share your finished video, you have a share out button, but you can also use the file export as well. You can share out directly to YouTube, but I would actually recommend, it seems like it's easier and faster for me when I share the video file straight to my computer, and then I take the file from my computer and upload it into YouTube. And for some reason, I get that spinning ball of death when I do it straight from iMovie to YouTube. So it's faster for me if I download it to my computer, delete it later, and then upload it to YouTube. And then down here in the bottom, this is your project plane, and this is where you're going to be editing and changing things in terms of muting audio, making the audio louder, adding in your images, adding in your video, adding in your transitions. It all happens down here. So this is basically where you load everything and grab all of your tools, but down in the bottom project plane, that's where you start editing everything. To get a close-up look at that, what you're going to see in my example here is that I've got a couple of different layers happening. So again, this could be very, very simple and easy, or you can start to add in complexity with these different layers. So for example, I have a still picture over the top of a white background, and then I have some sound effects happening at specific points, and then I have background music happening. So anytime you see green stuff, that's usually just audio. And then I have some transitions at the front and back of this kind of intro. This whole thing is my intro to the video. And then this is my main video here. With this main video, you see that there is audio attached. This is my speaking voice over the top of the video, which you can also manipulate and add to. So that is kind of a brief overview. You can come back to this as a resource as you kind of dive into iMovie, but I think it's important for you to know where all of your buttons and tools are. So during the live demo right now, I'm going to show you how to upload media content into iMovie. I'm going to show you how you clip your media. So if you have, for instance, bumbling and issues at the front of the video that you'd like to clip or trim out, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'll show you how to add in transitions. I'm going to show you how to add in a white background if you wanted to do an intro, for example. I'll show you how to add audio, and how to do a voiceover if we have time, and then finally how you would share out and upload to YouTube. We're gonna try and do that really fast and quickly, and we'll see how it goes. Now, if you're sitting there going, my iMovie's not working right now, it's okay. Remember, we're recording this. You can watch this back later. You should be able to get iMovie, again, through self-service. You might have to put in a ticket. If you can't get that, fill out a help ticket. And you have access to this video so you can watch later. Carrie, is there anything else I need to say before I dive into the live demo?
No, let's dive in.
Okay. I'm going to really quickly make sure on slide 9, if you're going to do this with me right now, you need to hit the button here for pre-recorded video. If you're in the view only option, you might have to click on the outside of the button. If you're in present mode, it's a button, but if you're in the view only, you might have to click towards the outside. We also might want to open up in a new tab this audio library on your YouTube channel, but I'll also kind of show you how to get to it as well. And then if we want to, we can also download this canvas image, and we can maybe add that in as well so you can see how to use a still image. So those are the 3 different pieces we're going to be working with. Okay, so I actually might open that up in a tab real quick. So within YouTube, and I'll show you how to get there, this will link you straight to it, but if you go to YouTube, I'll do it first here. So if you go into YouTube, you have to go into your channel. If you haven't set up your YouTube channel, please do so now. You're just going to click on your face or initials in the top right-hand corner and go to your channel. And then if you haven't set it up, it will pop up with a window saying, would you like to set up your channel? It's attached to your BSD email. You need to go ahead and set it up. Hopefully it doesn't take a 24-hour turnaround time. It sometimes does, but I'm hoping it won't. And we're actually, once we're in our channel, we actually need to go not to your channel, you need to go to YouTube Studio, because amazingly, YouTube actually gives you access to some audio library files, which is pretty great. And what's also pretty great is that you can actually filter. Now, I like the old version, so I'm actually going to click this button here where it says Audio Library Classic, because I like the ability to search for attribution. So this just basically means I don't have to necessarily say who the artist is. I can just use whatever I want to use. And this is all just like background music, and it's just free for you to download and to use, which amazing, because the workaround before I even knew that this existed was insane. So I'm going to end up using the Manhattan soundtrack. If you're a YouTube junkie like me, this is one that almost everybody uses. It's a familiar sound. I asked my daughter if she recognized it. She said she didn't, so maybe it's just the videos I'm watching. But anyways, I'm going to use the Manhattan video. When I select it, you can see that it's a free attribution, meaning you can use this song in any of your videos and you don't have to worry about a copyright claim or anything. And then I just go right over here to download. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that for me too, while we kind of set up everything else, that would be helpful. And also, so I'm going to show you guys my iMovie screen. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and you know what, actually I'm now feeling like you need to see more than just my iMovie screen. So let's share my whole desktop. Okay, so everyone can see my whole desktop. You can see that I have the Canvas to Do iMovie or Canvas to Do screencast. All I'm going to do is just drag and drop it into my import media plane here. Oh, and by the way, I did go into my iMovie library and I right-clicked and said New Event, and I titled it iMovie Basics. Okay, so I dragged and dropped my movie into here. And then I also grabbed that canvas icon, like I told you in the beginning there. So I'm going to drag and drop that as well. And then I downloaded the Manhattan song. And so I'm just finding that, sorry. Manhattan song. Am I missing it? Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, you guys can hear the song. Okay, so we're going to use that. It also happens to be the same sound that I've been using for all of our PD and the patio videos. So if you're like, yeah, I have heard that. Well, that's why, because I've been using it for all of them. Okay, so we have our import media all in our project plane area right here. And so remember, this is the place where we're going to put all of our information. And I'm going to drag and drop a black background. It's giving me 4 seconds of black background right now. Right here in your settings, you can make it smaller or bigger depending on how zoomed in you want to look at your project plane. Sometimes when I'm super zoomed in and my project plane has the video really large and in charge, it will slow down some of my processing on my laptop. So sometimes I will zoom this down in my settings, and that just basically means that I'm making it smaller in my project plane. Okay.
Well, can I add a quick question?
Yeah.
Can you put new downloads just into the library instead of into a specific movie project?
You can eventually, if you are making a lot of videos, you're going to want to, I mean, it has like all events, so it's going to show all of my content. But I think separating it out, just like you would like a folder in a Google Drive, this just allows you to look at different projects and kind of separate your media so that it's not insane. Like when I edit all my PDs on the patio, it's now becoming too large and in charge up here, and it's hard for me to remember what video and content I need. So it just helps you, I think, be more efficient if you do multiple different library events. Does that make sense? Does that answer that question?
No, that sounds great. And if you're having trouble downloading it, it won't drag and drop into the iMovie library. Do you have a workaround? Or?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So this button up here at the top, this is your import So I'll show that again. So that's just this down arrow. So it just opens up your files within your computer. And so you could just find it through your files. So if you don't want to do a drag and drop, you could do it that way.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so we've added a black background. I added a transition at the front. Now I could add that transition because I had the background. So I did a fade to black because it's a black background. And then I'm going to do, I probably will do like a cross dissolve transition on this side. And then I'm gonna go back to my media and I wanna add my tutorial video, my 1-minute tutorial video. I'm gonna drag and drop that here. So if I'm looking at my project plane, I have a transition, I have a black background, I have another transition, and then here is my instructional video. Okay. Now you'll notice with my instructional video, there is no audio. I did not turn my audio sound on. So I can actually do a voiceover for this if I want to, and I'll show you how to do that. Or I could leave it blank. I mean, it works on its own. It doesn't necessarily need a voiceover telling the kids what I'm doing. It gives that visual. But I do want to show you really quickly how you maybe take out a section. So maybe at the back, usually when I hit record on something, at the front and the back, I usually always want to trim something. So at the end, before I go up and hit stop, there's like a whole section down here that I maybe don't need. So what I want us to do, if you're following along with me, is notice how I'm dragging my mouse over the video feed and it's showing me what's happening in the live video feed up here at the top. So I can drag this little white bar anywhere that I want to stop my video. So I can kind of notice that my cursor is just flailing around right now and it's going up to press stop record. I don't need any of that content for the students. So I'm going to go ahead and drag it back to where I think that that's good enough. And I'm just clicking on the video. And that actually, do you see how it left behind a little tracer bar? So that's just showing me where I potentially want to cut the video or that this was the last place that I stopped. And I just did that by hitting my button, my cursor on my trackpad. I just tapped it. So I can, once I know that this audio or video is selected, there's a yellow outline around this entire piece. So what I'm going to do is I can either right click and say split clip, or my favorite, I love using keyboard shortcuts. So I will do Command B and that trims right here where I've left I've left behind the cursor. So if I do Command B, it cuts that off. So it's 2.3 seconds off of the video and I can just hit delete. The yellow is around this whole section and I can just hit delete. If I did that wrong and I don't like what I just did, Command Z or undo, you can go to edit and undo, will undo everything you just did. So I can even attach that clipped section back to the video. Because another option I have, because it's at the end of the video, I can leave my cursor where I want to stop it and I can actually go to the end of the video clip and see how I get this like arrow pointing to the left and to the right. And what I can do is I can just drag this back to my cursor endpoint and that clips it as well. So those are your two options. You can either clip it using that Command B or right click button to split the clip, or you can drag and drop on the end. That only works on the front and back end of a video file like that. You can, if you needed to cut something from the center, you'd have to do that Command B or right click to split the clip, okay? So once you're here, we've added a background, we've added transition, we've added our video, we've clipped the end of this video. This could work, we could finish here, but we have that music, so why don't we go ahead and add that music? So I'm going to grab the music background from up top, and I'm going to drag it to my video clip. Now notice it's going to start with my intro, And it's going to keep going for the remainder of my tutorial video. In fact, it's longer than my tutorial video. So practice your skills again here and clip your sound. I might leave it here for a second because maybe I want something on the end. So why don't we go ahead and add another black background. I'm going to add a transition. I'm going to add fade to black right here. And then I'm going to go to titles. Let's add a title at the beginning and a title at the end. So your titles, there's lots of options. You can actually click on it and drag through it to see the different, and you obviously will get one that you like the best, right? So I'm just going to use this one. And I'm going to drag it over the top of my black background. And then these are kind of weird when you add the titles. You actually have to work in your preview plane to add your text. So I'm going to double click here and I will type Canvas. Maybe I'll say adding a to-do item in Canvas calendar. And then I press enter. And then I usually will go back and watch it and see if I need to, can I read it in the 4 seconds? And I'm hearing my audio. Hopefully you're hearing the audio background too. So I might actually need this to be a little bit longer so I can read it. And so I'm just selecting the black background. I'm dragging it out a little bit longer. And I'm playing it back. I feel like I can read that. I like the background music. It's a little loud. Okay, so let's make it a little bit softer maybe. Carrie, is there something I have to pause and do?
No, you did fabulously.
Okay, sorry, I'm noticing that you're texting me, so I'm like, oh, what do I need to stop and do? Okay, so let's just say my audio is okay. Here's my tip. I like to leave my audio pretty loud for the intro. And then if I leave any background audio in, I significantly turn it down. So I will split my clip right here. And with audio, here's an interesting thing, and it's sometimes this finicky. But when you select your audio, there are these 2 tiny little round balls right here on the front end and back end of your audio clip. That is your fade in and fade out. So if you just drag that little ball in a little bit, that's going to give you a fade into the sound and a fade out of the sound. So I could potentially clear off this entire audio here and not use it if I do a voiceover or something. But this will then give me a nice fade in. And it's technically right now it's at 100%, but I can move it and go and adjust the volume. If I move my cursor over this audio clip and I get this adjust volume option, then I can bring it down. And if I have any background music going while I'm doing a voiceover or something, I go to 1 or 2% audio, which sounds crazy, but you can still hear it. And then if you are talking and for some reason your audio doesn't track very well and you can't hear yourself, you can actually bring audio up to 400%. So if your voice isn't registering, you can bring it up really, really loud actually. So if I'm doing music like this, I usually actually bring it down to like a 30 or a 40. And I'm going to play it back. So I'm moving my cursor to the front and I use my space bar a lot to play the audio or play the whole video. So I'm using my space bar, hitting play and listening back. How's that sound going? And the audio track itself is quite slow to pick up and you can kind of see that here in the sound waves. So it's not until we reach about this part of the sound that it gets really, really loud, which is kind of helpful. You probably could leave this at a full 100% to be perfectly honest for your intro because it doesn't kick up until down here. So if I were to leave this in the background, I would probably do a fade in and go all the way down to like a 2% and then just leave it. Or if I'm not doing a voiceover, I might bring it back up. Again, these are all options you have a choice of. Yeah, go ahead.
Am I showing one more time how you get the toolbar to split that section?
Yep, so you're gonna select, so notice how I'm pointing at my screen. Notice how I have this white toolbar that just goes with my cursor anywhere I put it. So if I move that toolbar to a certain section and I click with my mouse, then it selects, right now it's selecting my video file, but if I click with my mouse over the green, it selects my audio file. So you have to make a distinction and notice where the yellow outline is happening. And then once you do that, you can, wherever you've left that cursor, you're going to either right click with your trackpad or mouse and go to split clip, or you can also do that Command B shortcut on your keyboard, Command B, and that splits it. Command C or Edit Undo will undo anything that you just did. Now, if I wanted to, I'm going to go back to my media and I'm going to add this still image over the top of my black background. Maybe I want it at the front. No, maybe I want it towards the back. And I don't want it to be 4 seconds long. And I maybe want to make this a little bit shorter. So now I have black background that leads to a canvas image. And the thing is, when you add in a still image like this, it does this effect called a Ken Burns effect. If you've ever watched his history, right? Like, it's a Ken Burns effect, and it automatically zooms in on a still video. If I don't want that to happen, I have to select the video, hit the crop tool here at the top, and then instead of Ken Burns, I might go to just fit the window. I don't want to do a Ken Burns. So then I'm going to play this back. You can see why editing now becomes like a whole thing. It takes a lot longer because you do these edits and then you have to watch it back to see how it's working for you. Okay, so if I do like this whole thing, I can select by dragging my mouse over the top. Notice how it's selecting all of those things. And I can actually cut. So let's say I do my intro, I like it. I can use it as my outro as well. And I can just paste it here. And now my intro and my outro are done. So that's easy, a copy and paste. The last thing I wanted to show you, because I think we have a little bit of time left, so I wanted to show you how to do a voiceover. So with a voiceover, in this instance, I don't have any audio, so I don't need to mute my audio. But what I'm going to do is figure out where I want to start my voiceover. And I could do a voiceover for this entire short video, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my cursor back to where I want my voiceover to start. I hit my trackpad, so my cursor is there. And then I'm going to go to this little microphone here in the video view plane. And I'm just going to say start my record my video. Now, when I hit record, it will give me a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then I can start recording my voice. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like. Hey guys, we're going to talk about how to add a to-do to your Canvas calendar. First, you're going to click the plus sign and then hit My To-Do. Go ahead and title it anything you want to do. Maybe I have homework for my ELA class tonight. I can change my date, I can add my time. Make sure to add AM or PM so that it hits the right time on your calendar. And then add in any details you want. You can even include a hyperlink if you want to. Once you're finished, you need to select Submit. And then at any time, if you want to, you can drag and drop so it adjusts your to-do to a different date. You can edit your to-do at any time and delete your to-do at any time. Hope that helps. And then I'm just gonna hit stop. Now you see I have a voiceover and it's just titled voiceover number 1 down here at the bottom. You can see where my voice or intonation goes. You can see where I paused for a super long section of time, which I could delete that. If I'm getting any weird feedback, I can delete that at any time. Do my split clip, right? Like I can select it, do my split and delete. So I don't even have that section. You don't have to do one full fell swoop of a voiceover either. You can do short sections as well. So let's just hear that playback. And we did turn this audio down, right? Yeah, we're at 2% on that. Okay, so let's just do a playback. Hey guys, we're gonna talk about how to add a to-do to your Canvas calendar. Okay, so I'm noticing right away, my poor laptop, I can hear the fan in the background, right? And my voice is actually not that loud. So if I wanted to, I could actually increase my volume. Let's see what that just sounds like. Hey guys, we're gonna talk about how to add a to-do to your Canvas calendar. First, you're gonna click the plus sign and then hit my to-do. I'm actually really hating that you can hear my computer fan in the background, I'm not gonna lie. But that at least gives you an idea of how you add those little quick voiceovers. Now, because I added or changed the voiceover to volume 400%, but I clipped this section, this is still at 100%. So if I wanted to, I would need to go up to 400 on that too for it to sound similar. You have option to fade out on any audio track as well. So that same idea could still happen. I'm noticing my audio doesn't go all the way to the end here. So I'm just dragging it so that I have a seamless piece. And I'm gonna do a fade out right there because it's gonna, well, actually I probably don't need to do a fade out on that. It's gonna up the volume here when it goes into my outro. So my volume is going to go up here on my outro. Okay, so I'm feeling like I'm watching playback again. This is a 1-minute tutorial. Hey guys, we're going to talk about 4 students, right? We've added intro, we've added audio. I'm going to go back here. What did I want to make sure I showed you guys? Double check. We uploaded video, clipped video, we added transitions, we added a background, we added audio, we added text. We did a voiceover. Okay, so now we need to upload it to YouTube. Okay, so like I said before, I think it's best if I add the file to my computer first instead of going straight into YouTube. I sometimes get a spinning ball of death and it will take hours when I do it straight to YouTube for some reason. I don't really know why. I wish I knew the answer to it, I don't. So if I click file, I might rename it to do in Canvas. I don't really care about any of this other stuff. If you want to make sure it's a good high quality video, resolution high here, but if you have like really slow internet, you could turn the resolution down and you might be able to download it faster out of iMovie if you turn the resolution down, but then that means when the students watch it back on their end, it might not be of high quality. So it's kind of a give or take. So I'm going to move it into my movies to do in Canvas. That sounds fine. And I'm going to save. Now, here's the deal. I do have really fast internet, although right now I'm taxing it because I am doing a live Zoom at the same time that I'm exporting out of iMovie. But it's a 1-minute video, which means it should go really fast, actually. And I get this little view up here to show me how quickly it's exporting, and it's now done. Okay. So when I'm done, then what I'm going to do is go back into my YouTube channel. I can just hit create. If you're not in YouTube yet, you do need to go to like your channel. I am in the create zone, but I'm going to hit create. I'm going to say upload video. I can drag and drop, or I can select the file. I saved it in my movies category. Sometimes I will play it back. And that's the right one. I try and listen for my intro so that I know that I'm not using my unedited version. And I just upload it. I can add a description. This is a tutorial for students on how to add a to-do reminder in Canvas. Oops. Okay. If I wanted to add it to a playlist, maybe I had a playlist for Canvas tutorials, I can add it there. If it's made for kids, you can say yes, made for kids, and then that's going to put it into a whole other different category and make the ads or play or watch this video next be more kid friendly. This is your link right away. Even before it processes, you could grab this link and go directly into Canvas or a slide deck for Seesaw. and that's what you would paste in for students to access it. I don't do anything on this page. I just hit next. And then you're gonna wanna choose either unlisted or public, depending on how you want people to access this. Most of my videos are public. And then I'm gonna say publish. Okay. And then it should show up. I'm gonna go back to my channel and then show you, I'm gonna go into YouTube Studio, and it should show you in your dashboard that you've uploaded it, and then it should be in your uploads video section as your most recent video. Okay. So that was a down and dirty, quick video. There's a tutorial video I uploaded for teachers here at the back end, not made by me. And now we'll kind of go through questions. If you're watching along with us, just pause and rewind as needed to go through and create your own video.